All right, welcome to my warm-up for today. It's 10:12 here, so it's late for me to do a warm-up, but I had lessons and other things going on, but I want to make sure I get my guitar practice in. I'm continuing from my last warm-up where I was trying to get this Sweet Home Alabama done, and so I can kind of do it as a test for myself, and I was so bad at playing it, I needed to totally scrap the idea of a test, and I'll get there as soon as I get the riff down. So again, this is just, learning a new riff in your warm-up is a great thing to do. You can make that a part of your practice. Anything that's getting your fingers moving and adding some ideas is really what you want to do. Okay, so what I'm going to be focusing on is trying to get the whole thing done today. And we're doing that 7, 8, 9. And I'm just going to do it beat by beat. The little exercise I made last week, which I'm going to start with as my warm-up, is this 1 E and a, 1 E and a. Kind of keep me true to the rhythm, and then when I do the hammer on, hopefully my fingers kind of know the spacing better. All right, let's see at 52 BPM. 1 E and 2 E and Thomas, this is Sweet Home Alabama, a great riff for you to learn. Right now we're working on the little re-intro part, but I'm doing this as a warm-up, and I highly suggest any guitarist does a warm-up, and I'd love to know what your guys' warm-ups are. Maybe it's just playing with the metronome a little bit. Maybe it's a favorite lick of yours to just kind of get your fingers moving before you break down a song. All right. So now what I want to do is I want to go 1 E and then I'm going to do the hammer on. So let's see how that goes. Oh. It's tough for me to go back and forth, but I think Thomas's warm-up is happy birthday, and that's a solid warm-up. And today is a day that you learn a new warm-up. All right, I'm going to slow it down to 42 and see if I can get that idea of it back and forth. 1 E and So the big things that are happening here is just really being aware of that space that you're filling up. 1 E and it's very easy to do, right? You turn that into a sloppy mess that is not in time at all. Having control of the fingers when the pick isn't involved. Okay, so in practicing a riff and then not doing the whole riff sometimes can be problematic. And one of the issues that I can see right away is 1 E and that so it's and So I can see myself, I think I had this problem in my last warm-up, is putting too big of a staccato there or not holding it to the 2. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to go 2 E and 2 E and And also, since I'm treating this as a warm-up and trying to get the riff down, one thing I'm thinking about is not pressing down too hard on the strings, which I have a habit of doing, and it's a habit that I want to break. And actually, the test that I was going to do with this riff was a test to see how hard I press down, how much that's impacting my playing, and I couldn't even do that. So It's what I'm working on right now. But I will be shooting that video soon too. Okay, 1 E and E and 1 E and E and let's see if I can do both those back to back. 2 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3, 4. E and 2 E and 3, 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3. So really having to hear that again, think of it as strumming to be down, up, down, up, up, down. That's something I've done a ton as a strummer. You think about it a little bit differently as a lead player, as a riff player. You even heard me there, just rush that. Sloppy. 1 E and E and Give them space. 1 E and E and One thing I notice quite a bit though is it's hard to give space if you're not aware of what the space is, which totally makes sense when you say that out loud. If you don't go 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and how do you know that 1 E and is the same, right? 1 E and E and All right, with the metronome again. 1 E and 2 E and 3, 4 E and 1 E and 2 E. And 1 E and E and 1 E and E and 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and all right. So feeling pretty good about that. I felt like last time I played this it was terrible. But because I practiced, or I didn't actually practice it, but because I did that video and kind of could feel where I was making mistakes, I'm able to like now jump in and have an idea of it versus just being terrible. All right, so on beat 3, 3 E and I'm gonna do the exact same thing. Thomas, that's a great question. I use these picks I love, these star picks. And the camera, the camera might be able to see that. It won't focus though, but these picks are my favorite. I had a student come in and these are about probably a light. They're I think 0.68 or 88. So I don't have my reading glasses on. I think they're 0.88. I like them because they're the right amount of hardness for me, so I can kind of get the attack I want. It's not so heavy that when I strum, I'm heavy-handed. And I love this little cutout that they have, hence the star pick name. And it adds that just layer of grip that you get. So I would suggest checking them out, and I'll put a link below so you can check them out. As soon as this live stream's done, I'll put a link below. So I highly recommend those picks. A student came in, and I was like, oh, those are really cool. And I grabbed one from him and played with him. And I'm like, can I borrow this? And ever since then, I've been buying them. And I buy the greens in the yellow. I think the yellow is a size, a thickness is a little less thick than this one, is what I'm trying to say. All right. Anyway, and Thomas, I like your questions. So there's 3 E and 3 E and. Let's do that same thing. You know, and maybe you're newer to guitar, and even doing this cross or switching a string is difficult. Just stare at your right hand and get that movement down. Okay. 3 E and. That's the rhythm. The next rhythm is kind of just like the polar opposite of it. It's another 5. So with metronome. So, because I'm kind of having fun, and that's what a warm-up should do. I like that it's rhythmically driven. It's getting my fingers involved, and just kind of doing a lot of riffing stuff. So what I want to try to do, just for fun, is see if I can do each one of these 4 times in a row. So it'd be, I already fucked up. 1 E and see, I can hear that rush. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. So that's going to be a challenge. I like that I did 42 BPM, which on those last 2 beats sounded really slow and, like, in my mind could have been faster. But for this idea of the challenge, it's going to be good. If I could do each one of these 4 times in a row, that's going to be sweet. One E and E and 1 E and already failed. 1 E and So good idea until I wasn't able to switch to the next one. But I like this challenge. So, and again, I'm just trying to make warm-ups for myself fun and interesting and get all these rhythms into my brain and be able to recall any of them whenever I want. I can't go back and forth between those 2. All right, so I want to practice that a minute. 1 E and 1 E and 3 E and 1 E and 1 E and. And I know by doing just this simple warm-up idea. Don't rush it when you play it by yourself. It completes the picture in my brain, and it's teaching me so many other things at the same time. All right. See if I can get that 2nd to 3rd. It gets me. One E and in a row. So things that happened is I lost count, which is very common for me. But good thing to do, like if I can count to 4s, which sounds dumb that I have to like talk to myself about counting to 4s. But if I can count to 4s while I'm playing the riff, you know, how many of our songs are based on a 4-part pattern? See, I messed up there too. 4 Maybe 4, maybe it's 5. Shoot. Yeah. I'm going to do it one more time at 42, and then we're going to just put the riff together because I can hear that I already have it. 1 E and 2 E and again, my brain goes away and I lose that count. I like that. That's a good idea, though. I think if other people can implement stuff like that, that'd be fun. Do it. Whole riff. Rushed that end. E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 1. Better. There we go. So a lot of it is because I'm going 42 BPM, which is just super slow. Really having to think about counting that, not rushing it, especially not rushing the slides. But if I can't do it exact at this tempo, there's no reason for me to go faster. Thomas Takamine is a pretty good brand. I used to have one a long time ago. It was a nice blue guitar that I liked. It was a cutaway. Is yours an acoustic cutaway? My camera is out of focus again. There we go. And 2E and 3E and 4E and 3E and 4E and I think I'm rushing that last one. And 3E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4 and a little bit. Okay, gonna do the same thing with that last little riff, which again, the first part of the riff already covered that rhythmic idea. You know, 1E and is no different than 1E and So that should make it really easy to do. But I'm going to do what I did before. Just start with that first beat. Understand small things well, and then move on. And 1E and 1E and 1E and So already you can hear I'm rushing it. 1E and 1E. I took the hammer on away, as you could tell. One E and 1E and one E and probably explain what I'm doing. So I'm doing that 1E, so open to 2, open, and it's asking me to hold this down by saying let ring over top. It's implying that as soon as I hit that, I'm not changing. And again, I don't care about that 2 of that next beat. I just want to make sure I'm not rushing my hammer-ons and fixing problems in my playing. I think if you can learn to make the metronome your best friend, you will become a very good player. This would be so much easier if it was with a drum beat. Now, I would still make mistakes, granted. I know I would. But I'd be getting eighth notes and it'd be telling me a little bit what the rhythm's going on, what rhythm is going on. But by doing it with just a metronome going 1 and 2, it really forces me to listen to my playing, get in touch with my rhythm. So again, and I'm going to go back and forth a little bit between doing it with the pick, just so I can get those, make sure I'm not rushing into those hammer-ons. And okay. And then it's just a 3, a 3. If I play it right, then it will be a 3. And that's just a completely different sense of timing than when I started this. I think it was 2 days ago. Right? It's me guessing where the 16th note is versus just hearing where it's at. Now, let's see if I can hear where it's at with the metronome. That's a little bit trickier sometimes. 2 E and 2 E and 3, 4, 1 E and E and 3, 4, 1 E and 2 E and 1. So I'm going to put that whole riff together. 1 E and 2 E and 3, 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3, 4, 1 E and 2. Did that one wrong. 1 E and 2 E and 3, 4. So got a couple quick comments. Thomas says, how often should you change your strings? I think it's like 3 to 6 months. Well, I would say 3 months. Now, if you're playing a lot and you're sweating a lot, especially in like the summertime, and your strings are getting like gunky, It's a good time to change them like once a month. It's kind of depending. When they start getting grayed out or dull, they not only look dull, but like I've had students before where I show them what a fresh string feels like. It's very smooth. If you put your fingers across the strings and it kind of catches, that's gross. You should definitely change them. And X and man, Zan, I wonder if I know X and man. How would I say that? 360 says six glasses, and I say thank you. Thank you for that. All right, I'm going to try to put that whole riff together and try not to fall apart while I'm doing it. And this is a little bit long for a warm-up. I mean, it's 25 minutes. It's not bad by any means. I'm trying to do these at around 20 to 30 minutes. But I don't have anything else going on tonight, so I'm able to like really embrace a longer practice, which I think is the preferred thing to do. If you can lose yourself in your practice, I mean, it's dumb to have to say. Like, you're going to have a good time. And a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 E. And a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 E and. So I fall apart a little bit. I like to rush that fourth beat. And I want to go faster. I mean, you can hear I want to play faster because I'm rushing it. But if I can't do this at 42, what's the point of going anything faster? And I can really concentrate as soon as I get 42 down. I can concentrate on like relaxing my fingers, not gripping too hard and things like that. One E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 E and a 2 E and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and. And a 2 E and a 3 E and. One E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 E and. I might have rushed that last one. We can always listen back to my playing and hear if I messed up. Let's do 52 for fun. So I'm going to do that same thing I did earlier where I'm going to do each one 4 times in a row just because I like doing that. And I feel like if I can play something like that on command, I'm in a good shape. No comment. Okay, I'll do it with the metronome though. 4 E and So it's hard for me to count that. I think it's a good challenge for me to do and something I want to keep working on. All right, we're gonna do it one more time this way. Yeah. So that was awful, and that's okay. All right, I'm going to jump into playing the riff a couple times and then move on to an actual, not an actual, but a guitar lesson. And we'll work on Atomic City and Last Night tonight. It's a weird way to say that. and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 E and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 E and a. I kind of heard that. So I rush a little bit. Just gotta watch this at 52 BPM. Next time I jump into this, and then we're gonna wrap up. So if you have any questions, put them below, and I will gladly answer them. Thomas says, "What's the earliest you can?" I can't read the whole message, Thomas. What's the earliest I can do these? I'm messing around with different times. I have like 17 jobs right now, but I'm messing with different times, and I'm open to people saying, hey, you know what? Later works better for me. I mean, Thomas and I are in the same time zone, so it's 10:40. You know, a guy who works with me on all these is Nick, and you probably will see some videos with him. And he lives in LA, or not LA, San Francisco. And so like, I know there's people like in that area watching as well. So we're such a global economy. I don't know what time to do these yet. So I will do more of them, and we will go from there. All right. Practice guitar and keep doing what you guys are doing.